Okay, so I'm going to use this penny, and these are our shears. They essentially come through pretty much almost everything: paper, plastic, carpet, cardboard, chicken bone, chicken skin. As you can see, it did that pretty easily. So we designed them to come apart just for easier cleaning. There, you can put them in the dishwasher. They're good to go. They're actually not sharp at all, not pointed in the least bit. Just very safe scissors for the kitchen or anything really. Now, how do you think customers react to that?
Oh, wow. It's awesome. So impressed.
So why do you think we chose to not put them in stores?
Because people wouldn't know why they're unique.
Yeah, if it's in a box, placed on a shelf next to a lower priced pair of scissors, which one do you think they're going to get?
The less expensive ones.
Exactly. And if I did that on an infomercial, would any of you believe me?
No.
So can you see now why it has to be done in person?
Yeah.
Okay. So the main product that we're known for is our cutlery. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass this around. You can hold it any which way you want. Doesn't really matter to me. All I ask when you pass it to each other, hold it by the handle, pass it by the handle. These knives are sharp. But what do you notice right away that's different about this knife than most?
Definitely the handle.
Yeah, it's called a universal wedge lock handle. It's designed to fit every kind of hand. Big hands, small hands, righties, lefties. It's kind of locks the forefinger finger and thumb into place, makes it a lot easier to use, a lot more comfortable, a lot safer as well. Now, most people just have your average household knife that you usually find a drawer of some sorts. You mainly have your wooden handles and your plastic handles. Now, wooden handles look good in the beginning, however, over time, they get really unsanitary, really nasty, really fast, okay? So plastic handles are obviously more sanitary, but they chip, they crack, they break, they melt. They're not very durable at all. Now, what Cutco uses is something called thermal resin. Pretty solid stuff. Won't chip, won't crack, won't break, won't melt. It's very similar to what's used in a bowling ball or in football helmets. The inside of dishwasher is actually made of the same stuff. So it's designed to just withstand a lot of impact or high heat resistant in the kitchen. Now, the two most common steels are usually either your carbon steel or your stainless steel. Now, you probably haven't heard of carbon steel. It's mainly used in outdoor knives, and it will look something like this, right? Now, it will hold a sharp edge, however, over time, what do you notice is a common characteristic with outdoor knives?
Since they rust.
Yeah, they rust, they pit, they corrode, they're not very sanitary at all. Stainless steel, I'm sure all of you heard of stainless steel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, stainless steel won't rust, but the thing is, it's so soft that it won't stay sharp. So it's usually either or that you get with cutlery. Now, what Cutco uses is a combination of the two. It's something called high carbon surgical stainless steel. So essentially, we fuse the two together so that people get the best of both worlds. It won't rust like stainless steel doesn't rust, but also won't dull like carbon doesn't dull. They use the same material in surgical instruments, and I would hope those can cut well, and I assume they stay clean.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if selected, you will learn in training a lot more reasons why Cutco is considered the world's finest set of cutlery, but for all intents and purposes today, what's the most important thing a knife should do?
Cut.
Exactly. So, Isabella, why don't you scoot up? You're going to help me out here real quick. So, these are just average household knives. You use a serrated knife first. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hold this end right here. Start from the back of the knife. Press down hard and do long strokes back and forth. Try to use the whole knife. Yeah. So, as you can see, it did cut through it, but left a very messy cut. Now we're going to use a serrated edge, or straight edge, excuse me. Hold it as well. Start from the back of the knife, press down hard. Just do long strokes. And you're good. So, if you notice, it left a very clean cut, even though it took a long time. So now we're going to use Cutco. Same deal. Start from the back. Press down hard and pull through.
Oh,
right.
wow.
So as you know, it's a very clean cut, and
That's
obviously
awesome.
did it a lot faster. Now, the main reason for that is actually not because of the way you were cutting or anything like that. It's really just because of the edge and the way that it was engineered. The first knife that you were using is a serrated edge knife, and what happens here is that the points do all the cutting. So since the points do all the cutting, it tears and it rips, it leaves very jagged cuts. Now, straight edges, they really have no other option but to leave a clean cut. So, the thing is they need to be sharpened on a consistent basis in order to maintain their edge. Now, what Cutco uses is something called our double D edge, that stands for double durable. And here what happens, the points actually do zero cutting. And what does the cutting? It's all on the inside. What the points do they protect the inside edges from going dull. So for example, if I were to cut a tomato, will the tomato dull the knife?
No.
No, right? It's a tomato. What dulls knives isn't the food that's being cut, but the surface that's being cut on. So what the points do, they lift those inside edges from the cutting board. So essentially it's never touching the cutting board. I'm not sure if you can see how the light shines right underneath the blade.
Yeah, you can see that.
Hovers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it shows you how it never really touches the cutting board. Does anybody here know how long the average knife lasts before it starts to dull?
A couple months?
About 6 months to a year, I would say, if used properly and depending, how often they use it. This one is designed to last about 7 to 10 years, assuming they use it properly and obviously how long they use it as well. So there's another example the customers get a kick out of. This is the average steak knife, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our version of it. What does it look like to you?
A butter knife.
Right? We'll cut through steak, chicken, fish, but it's not pointed, so it'll spread butter, cream cheese, it's not for anything on the table. Alright? So go ahead and get this knife right here. Hold this on. And just make a small incision at the top. And stop. Now I'm going to hold these two ends and get the same knife. Just want you to push straight down. Watch my thumbs in. Alright, stop. Cutco. Just push. So, because the double D edge goes forward, backward, and downward, my students show customer goes forward, how it goes backward, and then how it goes straight down as well. Now, everything I just did with all of you, my students do with the customer, and they have the customer do all the cutting. Why do you think that is?
Just so they can use the product and just try it out more.
Yeah, seeing is believing, right?
Yeah.
So, as they're showing their customers, they use this prospectus right here. We call it a blue book, for obvious reasons. And it's essentially everything I just did with you. First, they talk about the company, that way they understand how credible you are and what we've done and how long we've been around since. And then they educate them on the average knife. Most people don't really know about cutlery unless they've taken sort of culinary course. And over here, they just educate them on the product. They talk about the handle, the steel design, they cut some rope, they cut some leather. Now, the main reason people purchase Cutco is actually not because of the quality. It's because of the guarantee that we offer. Cutco offers a forever guarantee. So essentially, if anything happens to their Cutco, they would just return it and they get brand new Cutco for free. If it needs sharpening, if it needs fixing, if it needs replacing, they will sharpen, fix, or replace it for free. Now, we do have a misuse and abuse guarantee. This is for people that try to chop down a tree or open up a paint can or run over the truck or something like that. Obviously, the company won't pay for a whole new piece of Cutco if it's completely misused, but they will cover half the current retail price. Now, everybody does get a 15-day unconditional money-back guarantee, which gives them 15 business days. So essentially 3 whole weeks to try out the product, see if it's for them. And if for whatever reason they decide that it's not for them, they can just return it and get a full money refund. Now, the company has had the same guarantee word for word since 1949. What does that say about our company and our products?
Oh, it's awesome. We trust it.
Yeah. And can anyone tell me about the past 4 or 5 years of the American economy in general?
It's so bad.
Could be better. Could be worse too. Could definitely be worse, but definitely could be better. The past 5 years have actually been the 5 biggest years in company history. I'll tell you why.
Wow.
When somebody's trying to save money, who can tell me what is the number one thing that they stop spending money on a daily basis?
Food?
Eating out. Instead of eating out, what do, Isabella?
They eat at home.
They cook. So, it's just something people are using more lately. And we have a lot more products than the ones that I obviously just showed you right here. We're known for our cutlery, like I mentioned. We have small sets for people that hate cooking. We have big sets for people that love cooking. In those bigger sets, we do have gourmet knives as well. We have different barbecue tools for the kitchen. We also have different accessories and whatnot for the kitchen as well. We have different gardening tools for those that like to garden. We have different gadgets like ice cream scoops, vegetable peelers, pizza cutters. There's gift sets for holidays and birthdays and weddings and whatnot. We have sporting knives, we have hunting knives, we have fishing knives. Do any of you fish, or do you know of people that fish?
Yeah, my dad loves to fish.
Yeah? Well, we have something called our Fisherman's Solution, and this is what it looks like over here. It can go from 5 and extend up to 9 inches. The blade can actually come out the entire way too. just for easier cleaning. There's a hole here, a hole down here, so they can just run hot water right through it, clean it right out. The sheath can be extended to hook onto a fish's mouth or onto their gills, and over you turn it around, there's a part right here where you can sharpen the blade or sharpen the hook even. And when a line goes bad, what do you have to do to the line?
Cut it.
Yeah. So most people just use their fillet knife right in the air. If they're not careful, accidents can happen. So right now, when the blade is inserted, it is facing up, and right now there's a little slot where it exposes the blade, where the line can just be put right there, and they can just slice it right off. Now, they do sell one similar to this at places like Bass Pro Shops. You can't get these at Walmart or Target. This is really, really high quality stuff. Now, has anybody priced high quality fillet knives before? Like, do you know what they cost in stores?
$50.
I mean, for a knife, you can definitely go in for $50 for sure, between 20 even $40. But for something with all those features, all that high quality material, can anyone take a different guess as to what it would cost in stores?
$150.
Yeah, I would say anywhere between $120, maybe up to $300 on up. So ours specifically goes for $88 because again, we market directly. So since we're not put in stores, we don't have to jack up our prices in order to make any kind of profit. The money that we save actually from not putting ourselves in stores, we just funnel it back to our students. That's how we're able to pay them so much. And I mean, I guess by a show of hands, how many of you feel that if you were to show Cutco someone that loves cooking, how many feel confident that they'd buy at least one thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, as far as prices go, just so you're aware, for one piece, they can spend anywhere between $30 up to $150. If they want to get a different package or a set or something like that, they can spend several hundred, even several $1,000s. For the company average order, you definitely want to jot this down. It's $250. We have something called a 60% closing ratio. Does anybody know what a closing ratio is?
Like the percentage of sales closed?
Yeah, the percentage of people that buy something. So if 60% is a closing ratio, means 6 out of 10 people would buy at least $250 worth of stuff on average. Now the reason why those averages are so high is because we do have payment options for our customers. And in these payment options, we do not charge them any interest. Okay, so for example, if somebody had a $300 order, they can just break it up to $60 a month. Doesn't change or anything like that, and I feel like that really makes Cutco a lot more affordable to anyone and everyone, really. So that's pretty much the whole presentation that my students do with the customer. It takes anywhere between 45 minutes up to an hour, depending on questions and chit-chat. And it's essentially a relaxed presentation in a customer's kitchen where my students are just answering their questions and, demonstrating the product. The product is the main attraction, not my students' skills. Would any of you have been less impressed if someone else walked in here and showed you the same exact thing?
Oh, no.
Yeah, now why is that important?
Oh, just because, the product speaks for itself.
That's why I'm not necessarily looking for somebody with sales experience. Does that help? Of course. But I'm mainly looking for somebody who's nice and can connect with a customer. And if selected, you see we have a lot more diverse people on the team. I have someone like Ryan Almolovar, who's very excited, very energetic, has a lot of enthusiasm with his customers. And then I have someone like Juliana Pedraza, she's very, very introverted, kind of more to herself, but she has a lot of energy when it comes to the product. Even Franco Perotti started off as someone very introverted, but as he progressed with the company, he's still more laid back, but now he's like really sarcastic and like pretty funny and stuff. So everyone's different. Everyone has a different vibe here. As long as it's genuine, they do establish a connection with the customer, and that's essentially what's most important. So what we're going to do right now is really just show you another reason why my students just do so well, and that's because of the market niche.